Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Ryan. This is Michigan Storm Chasers. We are back at it again here. I know you had Joel yesterday for the video, and I took a day or two off just to kind of mentally reset after this past week of hectic weather. It's been a lot of back and forth here, and while we're kind of quieting down, I think it's best just to kind of reset and get back at things with a fresh mind. So that's what we're doing today. We have a few things to talk about, nothing major, but I do think a couple topics here may interest some of you guys. Let's go ahead and dive into the forecast. But before we do, I want to address the elephant in the room, and that is we're back to our small screen software. And that is only temporary because we are in the process of switching to a much better program to run our softwares and to stream on. So do expect upgrades here coming very soon. In the process of switching over this past weekend, it ended up crashing my computer, which means I had to uninstall that program. So I can't get you guys that, large screen that we have been doing for the last couple of videos. So we're back to this software for at least the next couple of days, if not a week or two. So bear with me, bear with us here as we continue to upgrade our systems. We're going to make do in the meantime. So in the meantime, I'll make sure I try to zoom in and get you guys a little bit better views here because I know the screen is pretty small. So just want to apologize for that, but I do promise as well that more improved screens are coming. So stay tuned. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. So first and foremost, the topic of discussion here is the lake effect snow that will be ongoing today into tomorrow, which is going to be Wednesday and Thursday. Most of the UP between a trace up to about 3 or 4 inches. Localized areas could see as much as 7 inches of additional accumulation by the Munising, Grand Marais, Marquette area in particular. Over there by Ironwood, Ontonagon areas as well, 3 to 7 inch zones were added. The big concern that we kind of have that may catch people off guard is down further south where you see Niles there, Southwest Michigan, Berrien County, also the western part of Cass, perhaps as far north as Van Buren County. 3 to 7 inches is our first call, or perhaps last call, really forecast as this really gets ramping up over the day today. This is because the winds are going to shift more so westerly to the north. So it's going to orient this lake effect snow bands north to south instead of like west to east, if that makes sense. So going into the future radar here, looking at the ACE we're going to take it full and we're going to get rid of the sidebars here to try and make it a little bit better for you guys to view. I want to run this through the time frame. Notice lake effect snow continues today. Here is 11 o'clock. So this is basically right now. I'm making this video right now at 11:23. Here is noon today. We're going to run this into the evening hours. It really starts ramping up here around the 4, 5, 6 o'clock time frame. And notice we have a band that takes shape right about here, which is going to be 9 p.m. tonight. Notice this banding right here kind of starts diving further south instead of coming further east. So that's because the winds are oriented north to south with this next like 24 to 36 hours. As that continues to move southward, it will hug the Lake Michigan shoreline here. So do keep in mind, we're going to have accumulations along the shoreline, but not much is going to accumulate further east toward like Grand Rapids, for example. This is going to be midnight tonight, and then it really starts ramping up overnight tonight into Thursday morning. That'll continue. And then Berrien County, right about here, Thursday morning, 7 a.m., we have what we're going to call a fire hose of lake effect snow that dumps on Berrien County for a few hours there. That'll continue before the winds shift back to the west to east. Then it kind of blows the bands inland. And that time, lake effect snow should be pretty light in nature or wrapping up completely by the time Thursday evening or Friday morning rolls around. Going with our snowfall forecast, we just showed this. We'll show it again. Much of the Lake Michigan shoreline will get between anywhere from 1 to as much as 7 inches down there in Berrien County. We could see localized higher for sure. Localized bands are or lake effect bands are very localized in nature. So it wouldn't shock me to get like 10 inches or so in like a very localized area. But for the most part, I'm going to say 90 to 95% of us will fall between that 3 to 7 range there in Berrien County or close to that 3 to 7 range. All right, that is the main topic of discussion. We do have winter weather advisories in effect from the Northern Indiana office. We also have winter weather advisories from NWS Marquette for Marquette and Alger counties. Also going back there to the other one is going to be for Cass and Berrien counties for Southwest Michigan. Those go until, or the ones in Southwest Michigan go until 4 o'clock this afternoon to 7 o'clock Thursday evening. So about a 27-hour time period there. The ones in the UP are active now and they go until 7 p.m. this evening, which is going to be Wednesday. Those will expire, or they are set to expire. We'll see if they get extended further out. Now, next topic of discussion here is going to be the temperatures. We are in a very cold pattern here that will continue for the next couple of days. But what's on the horizon here? Let's go ahead and dive into the temperature forecast. So this is a regional view of the Great Lakes region, essentially. So Michigan, we're going to see Michigan right about here. And this is going to be running through the next couple of days here in Michigan. So right now we're seeing these really single-digit temperatures are right around 10 degrees or lower in the reddish purple colors. Anything you see in gray means below zero. This is going to be your air temperature, not your wind chill. So keep that in mind as well. We're going to go into the evening tonight. We're going to see a little bit of a warm up today to the 20s, if that's even considered a warm up. And then here comes that cold air back for one more night here. This is overnight tonight into Thursday morning. We're seeing the coldest air is still further off to the east. So thank you, Lake Michigan and Lake Superior, for protecting us from the cold. But as that continues to move eastward, we're going to see that pull back for the Thursday. We're going to see it come back for Thursday night. We're going to be solidly within the teens and 20s across lower Michigan for our air temperatures. Wind chills likely close to, if not below zero at times. The western part of the UP does remain coldest, if you can zoom in here, with single-digit air temperatures and likely well below zero wind chills expected. This is going to be for the next several nights here. As we move into the weekend, though, this cold air retreats, and to start the next week, this is the time frame we're going to keep an eye on here. We're going to see a resurgence of our warm air starting around that Monday period. So here's Sunday's highs here. We're seeing widespread 20s, perhaps even 30s in spots for Sunday. Or sorry, Saturday. And as we move into Sunday, much of the same with that as well. Sunday could be a little bit warmer there with widespread 30 degrees. And then we start our next week, Monday, we're in the mid 30s. We're going to start seeing 40s, perhaps even close to 50-degree temperatures, very close to the state here. Zooming into the Indiana, Ohio region, we're seeing these temperatures 48, 47. There's a 50-degree stat there. So the bottom line here, we're going to move this into the part of the next week here. This is Monday. Here's Tuesday right here. We're seeing these really warmer, milder air temperatures getting really close to the border there. So we are seeing 40s for sure for the very least South Central Michigan during the next couple of days here. Actually, sorry, starting next week around that Monday time period and going out a few couple of days. So bottom line here, we are looking at a much warmer pattern upcoming. We just have to get through 2 or 3 more days of the bitterly cold temperatures, and then we're going to see a warm up here. So we do have a map that kind of correlates what we're kind of thinking in terms of temperatures here. So further south there toward Evansville, Indiana, 60 degrees or higher is the temperature. Further north there in orange, 50 to 60 degrees there. And then the big story here for us in Michigan is going to be in the yellow zone, anywhere from 40 to up to 50 degrees there. As we're going to see mid 40s for high temperatures. So we're going to solidly fall between 40 and 50 degrees there, especially south of the 96 corridor from Grand Rapids over toward Flint and point southward. Further north there in green could see 30s up to about 40 or so at most. And the western UP will likely fall a little bit lower than that just because of their orientation to the coldest air, 20 to 30 degrees for you guys up in the western UP. Certainly could get higher, but right now not seeing it. All right. That is the temperature forecast for the next about 10 or so days. What happens beyond that, though? Let's go ahead and dive into a couple things here, starting with the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook here from the CPC. Do notice here, Michigan falls within a very low, should I say, probability. Now we look at the probabilities here. Notice the color is pretty lightish blue. So correlate that down here to the below normal probability. You're going to get 33 to 40% chance of below normal temperatures here between February 26th and March 4th. So that's a very weak signal, so should I say, for cold, but still leaning cold regardless here. But let's go look at the model here to wrap up this video. Go ahead and pop this on your screen. Take the sidebars off. This is your temperature averages over the next several weeks here. So right now we are quite cold. We're going to see these averages here. For example, here in Adrian, we're seeing about 11 degrees below average is what this map is telling you guys. So you're seeing the blues, you're seeing the greens here. All that's saying is, hey, we're below average. Up here in Canada, you're seeing the oranges and reds. That's above average. So moving this into the last week of February, we're going to start seeing that cold air retreat. Here comes that warmer air to end the month. We're going to be right around normal, leaning above average there. A couple places in Michigan showing up here within, a degree or as much as 7 or 8 degrees above the average. Now, what is average at this time of year? You might be asking yourself. And the question varies across the state, but we are getting very close to that 40-degree mark for our average temperatures across the state. For example, Detroit has an average high of 35 degrees here, but by the time we get to March, it's 45 degrees. So we are getting very close to right around mid to upper 30s for our average temperatures, if not low 40s very soon here for Michigan. So these maps will be getting warmer and warmer, and meaning warmer and warmer air. So as we move into the March timeframe, we're going to see likely a brief cool down come back here for the eastern half of the US for the first week of March. But the good news is the signal for that is not prolonged. It's going to be pretty short lived in nature. And by the time we get to mid March and to end March, models say we come back and we finish above average. So perhaps a very average like spring coming in here for March, 40s and 50s likely going to be the case throughout the month. But first, we got to get through the first half of the month here in March. At least 1 week or so looks a little bit cooler than the rest. After that, we look to be smooth sailing for a little bit above average in terms of temperatures, or at least near average overall to start in the mid-month March timeframe and to end the month of March as well. So bottom line here, a couple more days of cold, a brief warm up, a brief cool down, and then a little bit more of a prolonged period of warmth looks to take over. So that is the forecast for today. I noticed I'm at 11 minutes here, so I apologize. Didn't expect to go that long today. So if you're still watching, appreciate you guys sticking with us. Let's go ahead and shout out today's sponsor of the video. Let's go ahead and do StormGuard Roofing and Construction, based out of Macomb and Oakland counties for Detroit metro areas. 248-985-3239. Roofing and construction needs for your residential homes. Give them a call. Thank you to StormGuard for sponsoring today's YouTube video. With that being said, we're going to pop out of here, and I'll catch you guys likely tomorrow for another YouTube update video. I will end this on one note, though. Don't be surprised we start doing a video every 2 days. There's not much to talk about with Michigan weather, but if there's anything I want to talk about, I will pop on here. So look for our video tomorrow. If not tomorrow, you're going to see it probably on Friday. Have a good day. Stay safe and travel safe if you're out there on the roads today in Lake Effect snow-prone areas.